everybody, welcome back to Saturday Crafternoon. My name's Kelsey, and this November day we're going to be working on mini notebooks. We are going to be making them using a sort of Japanese bookbinding technique. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so if you have a look in your kit, you'll find that you have a stack of index cards, a length of embroidery floss that is taped on one side, like this, with masking tape. And you'll also find 3 different book covers and 3 solid colored backs. You can choose whichever of the 3 you'd like. I've already picked that I'm going to be using a 3 Dark Crowns one. So all of the covers in there that you'll see will either be YA books or graphic novels or manga, and you'll have 3 to choose from. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bind them together using a Japanese bookbinding technique. This is called 4-hole stab binding. Usually it would be done using an awl and a needle. However, as you can see, we've already punched the holes in for you, and we've made the end of our embroidery floss rigid with masking tape, which can replace the needle. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to take the cover that you've picked, so in my case 3 Dark Crowns, and you're going to line it up on top of your text block, which is what you call this stack of note cards here that's going to make up the pages of your notebook. And you're going to want to make sure that you have it lined up so that the holes in the cover are aligned with the holes in your text block. It should be pretty easy since we've already gotten the holes punched for you. They should all line up just fine. And on the back, you'll want to take that back card for your back cover, or if you'd like, you can use another book cover for a back cover. It would just be upside down because we already have the holes punched on one side. And that will line up right there. And then what you're actually going to want to do is you're going to want to cut your sort of deck here, cut your text block in half, and use just the top of it to start with. And you're going to take your embroidery floss through the second hole from the top, and you're going to go underneath it. So this would be in the middle of your book if you're going in half. And you're going to pull it almost all the way through, but not quite. You're going to want a length of about a couple of inches left over. That'll be in the very middle of your text block of your book so that you can tie it when it is ready to go. So when you line it all up and put your text block back together, you should have this little tail sticking out in the middle. All right. So when you hold it together, you should see it should be coming out the top, but it won't be coming out the back because it has its little tie in the middle. As you can see, I'm kind of pulling it off to the side so I know I can see it. It's okay if it's a little long because you're gonna trim the excess when you're done. All right, so once you've got your first hole through on the one side, you have that little edge just kind of sticking out enough to know it's there. You're gonna want to pick up your book and you're going to go around the outside, around what's going to be the spine, and you're going to stick it through the bottom hole, bottom of that second from the top hole, and pull it through so that you have a nice tight loop. Again, make sure that you have this edge still taut where it is. All right. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go to the next hole, which is the third hole here in the middle. You're going to go over the top and you're going to stab your little taped end through the top here on the second hole and pull it all the way through again. Oh. Careful not to get your thread tangled anywhere. So it'll look like this. You have your flush through and then it should look like a line right there. And once you have it all the way through the bottom, like that, you're going to go loop it around that spine and put it again through that same hole. Through the top and pull it taut. Alright, so then when you look, you should have a little bit of a square right there. Okay, now the next thing you're going to do, after you've gone and pulled that taut and you have your little square, is you're again going to take it, and this time you're going to go through that bottom hole, the bottom of the book on the underside, because that's where you left off. And you're going to stick the taped end through that bottom hole, pull it all the way through, so then you have a line on this side. On your back it should look like this. And then you're going to do that same thing again where you've gone through the top, you're going to go around and through that bottom hole again to give it a full loop. Shloop, shloop, loop, loop. Then what you're going to do is, instead of moving up, you're going to go around. You see how we have the string coming out the front? You're going to take it around the bottom. Instead of around the spine, this time we're going to go around the bottom. You're going to stick it through that back hole. Pull it all the way through, so that your front will look like this. You have an empty space and then a full corner. And then your back is going to look like this, right? So then what you're going to do is we're going to fill in this empty space here on the front. You're coming out of the front now. So we're going to go through that third hole from the top, so second from the bottom. One more time. Pull it all the way through. Nice and tight. And you can see we're starting to get a good bind on there. All right. But as you can see, now in the back we don't have that tie. So on the back, we're going to go through this hole here, the second hole from the top, third from the bottom, and pull it all the way through. All right, so now your back and front should look pretty symmetrical. There's only one hole left, so we're going to go through the top, since that's where you left off, through the top, and make sure that you're going around this way, through the top, way to go, around the spine. So we're going to go around the spine and through the top again. All right, so the front, you should have this long continuous one. On the back, you'll have one gap here. We're getting there, don't worry. We'll fill up that gap. And then this time, we're going to go around the top again rather than around the spine to give it a nice corner. Pull it through, pull it through, ta-da. All right, so now the front looks great, but we've got one more thing to do here. So for the back, we're going to go through that second hole in the back, but we're not going to go all the way. Remember where we left off this little tail at the beginning? So we're going to open that up. See where we are? All right, so we're going to go start to put our end through, and then we're going to open to where we left that tail going out. And so you're only going to go through that bottom half of the pages, and then you're going to come through the middle of the book, like this. There we are. Pull it all the way through. And you should see you've got those two pages going on now, your original tail and then your main length. And what you're going to do is you're going to open up and you're going to take those two sides and you're going to pull them and you're going to tie them together. You're going to want to triple knot it. See, this is a little bit difficult to show because the cards are kind of stiff. They'll loosen up once you're using your notebook more. So I would just go ahead and triple knot it. No special knots, just good sturdy one 3 times. So it likes to turn on me. Go ahead and tie it through here. One more knot and we'll be good to go. All right. Pull it through and pull it nice and tight. Gotta get my taped end through. All right. Then once you've got it nice and tight, you should be able to see the knot is inside the book, so you won't see it dangling out the front. And then what you can do is you can take any pair of scissors you got around the house and give it a quick snip to get rid of your excess. You should have more than enough. All right. Make sure you tied it nice and tight. And then this should be your finished product. Here's the front, and here's the back. And then you can open it like a notebook and flip through. And congratulations, you've just created your own mini notebook, and you can use the same technique with full pages if you'd like. Just make sure that when you punch your holes, you punch them 4 holes about evenly spaced along the spine. And when you measure out your embroidery floss, you're going to want to make sure you give yourself plenty of embroidery floss. I made sure to do it about 5 times the length of the spine, 5 to 7 times the length of the spine, depending on how many mistakes you think you're going to make. All right, and we'll see you next time.